Well, good morning and welcome to our channel. Welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. Welcome if you're a new subscriber. This is just Craig and Mercy G. It's breakfast time. Excuse me while I eat. We're hungry, me and the dog. Right. Out on my morning walk this morning, I always say good morning to people, but every now and then I like to go all Aussie and say g'day, how you going, things like that, and I always get weird responses. I got to thinking about that. For example, when I say how's it going, what that means in English, how are you? Are you well? Usually the response I get when I say, how's it going? They say, oh, just going to the market, going to work, going to the terminal. And I often think, okay. I have to remember that when it comes to the English language, Australians are, dare I say, lazy. There's lots of different, I don't know whether you could call it slang or, it's okay, it's vodka. I don't know whether you call it slang or it's just Aussieisms, I guess you'd call it. I haven't struck it in any other language. Like for example, we like to shorten words, and then just for fun, stick an O on the end. Like Arvo. I don't know if anyone would have seen my Saturday Arvo on the step video. Well, an Arvo is an afternoon. You don't say afternoon. That's 3 syllables. So Arvo, it's 2 syllables. It's quicker. If you're going to here in the Philippines, they say gas station. In Australia, we say petrol station or service station. Back in the days gone by, that was where you took your vehicle to get it serviced, oil change. They do that here, which is refreshing to see. I just come back from my walk, so I'm still sweating. I've got the automatic follow me mode on the phone, and I put my hand up and it goes, oh, who's that? Sorry, I wasn't trying to show you the ceiling. Yes, we call them service stations or petrol stations because it's petrol you put in your car. Gas is what you cook with. So just little subtle differences. But a service station is a servo. If you're married or if you've got a girlfriend and she's pregnant, she's Prego. It's just the way it is. If you have to register your vehicle, your motorbike, your car, whatever, that's Rego. Lots of words that we shorten and stick an O on the end. Like, I'm pretty sure that you would have the Salvation Army here in the Philippines and elsewhere in the world. Well, they're the Salvos. When you're at work and it's time for a break, it's a smoker. But back in the day, that's what you did. You stopped for a gasper. See, gasper. That's another word for cigarette. There are lots and lots of different idiosyncrasies about the English language when it comes to Australians. And I forget, because it's for 50 odd years I've been, g'day mate, how's it going? And we like to, if there's a long sentence, we like to squash it down into one word. Did you bring your grog along? That's one word. Did you bring your grog along? And did you bring any alcohol to the party? Did you have a good weekend? did you have a good weekend? So we do talk funny, but contrary to what Mercy tells me and everyone else, I don't have an accent. I speak like I've always spoken. Other things we do is drop letters out of words. Like Melbourne is how it's supposed to be pronounced. It's Melbourne, Melbin, Melbourne. Brisbane, Brsbun, Brisbane. That's Brisbane, as the Americans would say. There's another one, Americans. If I said something like Dazza and Shazza played Akka Daka on the way to Macca's, that's Daryl and Sharon played AC/DC on their way to McDonald's. That's perfect English to me. When we talk about shortening of names and words, there are some things where it's a no-no. We've got a town in Australia called Wagga, W-A-G-G-A, W-A-G-G-A, 2 words, Wagga Wagga. And we shorten that to Wagga, going to Wagga. Okay, mate, see you there. But there's another town or suburb near Sydney called Woy Woy, W-O-Y, W-O-Y. You don't shorten that. You don't say I'm going to Woy. That's weird. We don't do that. Say Woy Woy. And then we've got really long names, and they're Aboriginal based, like the indigenous people from Australia, like Wool, Oo, Moo, Loo. How many O's are in that word? Let me count them up. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 O's in that word. Another interesting aspect with shortening of names is the more you can shorten somebody's name, the better you'll like them. Like Gary is Gaz, Daryl is Daz, Sharon is Shaz. My sister's name is Sharon, and she's always been Shaz or Shazza. Another thing that we do, and I know that most cultures and countries consider it swearing, but we use the word bloody. Now, bloody is used, for example, if you're saying that something is really good, you're saying it's tops, it's ripper, it's sick, it's mad, it's rad. But if you put bloody in front of it, it becomes really good. So if it's bloody mad or bloody sick or bloody tops, that's great. Another word that we use a lot is bastard. Like a really good mate. He's a total bastard. That means he's your best mate. Good fella. But if it's someone you don't like, they're a bit of a bastard. Another thing that we say quite often is, no worries, mate. Now that can mean a couple of things. It means don't worry about it, or it's okay, everything's going to be all right. It can also mean, sure thing, you're welcome. So what's the difference between bush, outback, and whoop whoop? Well, what you've got to remember is Australia's big. It's the 6th largest country in the world, I think. However, most of the population, and it's only 29 to 30 million, it's not much, tiny population compared to most countries. Most of the population is on the eastern and southern, sort of southeastern edges. Now, outback, the bush, whoop whoop, all refers to that bit in the middle, the red bit, the desert, where there's only a handful of people live. So the outback is remote. It's way out. It's outback is whoop whoop. The bush is like when you leave the cities and there's more trees than people, which is easy in Australia. So the bush is not the city, but it's on the way to Whoop Whoop. Because we have the coastal regions, this is on the east coast, but the coastal regions, the Blue Mountains, like the Great Dividing Range, which is the bush. Then you got Whoop Whoop. I think one of the things that used to make me smile, still does actually, although I now use the word slippers when referring to these. Here they're called slippers. In Australia they're called thongs, which I know has a completely different meaning here. But they're thongs. That's just what they are. So you've got to chuck your thongs on, put your slippers on your feet. Literally hundreds and hundreds of words that the Australians have modified or we use. Like if you're referring to a woman, usually a stranger who you don't know, she's a Sheila. Like if something's fantastic, it's Ripper. Something else I say to Mercy quite a lot, and I've said it for years and years, wrap your laughing gear around that. It just means eat this, have a taste of this. Another one is dog's breakfast. God, you look like the dog's breakfast. It means you've had a rough night and you look a bit worse for wear. If someone makes you an offer or tells you the price on something, you don't say, oh, that's too expensive, or whatever. You tell him he's dreaming. Come on. We like to use some different phrases like, what's the John Dory? Story. Have a Captain Cook. Have a look. Fair go, mate. Fair suck at the battered sav. Fair suck at the sauce bottle. That means, come on, that's a bit rich. Well, you're stretching the truth a bit there, mate. That's what that means. So if something is really good, like I've heard a lot of people say, oh, that's better than sliced bread. In Australia we say, that's better than the kick up the arse. Too right, mate. So I hope you all enjoyed that little Australian English language lesson. That's how I speak. Thank you very much. Good morning, my pal. Mercy's just arisen, and I'll see you all next time. Hooroo.